I remember transferring the payment for my rent when I was living in America and feeling so much anxiety in my chest, counting every single dollar to make sure I would have enough. I had worked so hard for my paycheck, but the excitement I felt in my chest about payday quickly faded. I started realizing that my life was about working, earning money to pay expensive rent in New York City. So I decided to give up and leave America. But if you feel lost, traveling on the road less traveled, don't give up. May your sleepless nights be replaced with ultimate happiness and love that is warm, selfless, and steady. I hope my story will inspire you to believe that.
We're in trances, going all to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chance?
I love this journey. And I gave up on the American dream because I just felt exhausted. I felt exhausted, I felt depressed, I felt anxious in my heart, and I felt like I was chasing something that I didn't even want. I quit my job. So I am in Kuwait. I've been feeling depressed and I am so sad. That's the word that I'm looking for. But my depression didn't leave me. I realized no matter where I go, my memories, my trauma, my pain was still with me. I was living in the Middle East in Kuwait City. I was teaching there at the time. And then this is when the first time I decided to embark on my journey to healing myself and studying and learning and traveling. I had to take a plane ride from Kuwait to India. I decided to go to India because I met this Egyptian woman. She was a teacher, she was a cook, and she just said like, hey, like, let's go do Ayurveda training. I'm like, Ayurveda training, what is this? I dropped out of yoga in college. I had no interest in this stuff, but it was my year of yes. Okay, which was just a year where you say yes to everything, and that completely transforms your life. So I said yes, I'll go. Okay, so I'm in India right now. I'm having like this excessively painful feeling in my chest. This chapter in India is called Release. This was the first time where I felt like I had a safe space to release everything I had been holding on to. The pain of losing my mom, the pain of losing my dad, the pain of abandonment, the pain of loneliness. And I remember meeting with a monk who told me I should go and see an Ayurvedic doctor. I had been struggling with lower back pains for as long as I could remember. But when I landed in India, the pain intensified. The doctor shared with me that every physical ailment is connected to a mental ailment. My lower back pain was from feeling abandoned, feeling lonely, not feeling enough support on my life journey. It was connected to my fears about my finances and my ability to care for myself. India, in a way, reparented me and taught me how to cook for myself, how to sleep, how to breathe, and for the first time, how to rest. I am in India, and right now I'm walking to a tree to get something to eat. Boop. But I had to handle some things. I had to wipe out my debt. I had to save money. I had to take care of myself. So I decided to work there for some time. And I was there for like a good 2-3 years almost. And I was working. And then the pandemic hit. And then, so I was working. I was making quite a decent amount of money. And then I thought to myself, like, what is the purpose of life? Like, okay, great, making all this money, working, but like, then what? Then what? Like, what is the end goal here? So I had to write down what it is that I value in life. I value love. I value friendship. I value happiness. I value beautiful experiences. But I was quite literally, everything I was doing every day had nothing to do with that. It was just for money. So I decided that I would quit my job. I was so scared. I've never been so afraid of doing anything in my life. Imagine it's not like I have someone to take care of me, right? So it was a risk, but I just felt like my spirit telling me that it was time. And so I quit my job. I bought a ticket and decided to move to Bali. I was peeing in my pants, yeah. I was on Clubhouse and I was asking everyone, like, what should I do? Oh my God, should I quit my job? Should I have a job lined up? And I got so much like good feedback. I'm gonna actually insert some of the things that people shared with me.
And I think you need to realize sometimes it's the power of that leap you're taking. You grow in that leap because of the uncertainty. You know, if I were to tell you, hey, when you come here, I got $5,000 a month waiting for you, you don't have to take a leap. You're walking with comfort, you're walking with certainty, and it's not a leap. It doesn't require you to be brave. And you're missing the lesson in that. And I think we both know that taking the leap is where you grow. You know, people can always go back home, but you don't always have opportunities to take that leap. Here, I'd say, is that don't look at it as when you come here, like, will you make the money back? Will you be able to keep going? Look at it as, if you don't come here now, what's it gonna cost you?
So I'm about to quit my job in Kuwait City, and I'm going to book a one-way ticket to Bali. And I don't know what's gonna happen when I get there. Like, literally, as I was typing up the email of what I was gonna say to quit my job, I was freaking, I just spit, sorry. I was like shaking in my boots. But I don't know, this is what it means to be alive. There's only one chance to do this thing. So I want to make it as crazy as possible. I want to be 90 years old, sitting in my rocking chair, being like, hey, you did that life, girl. Ah! Look at my hair. This is how freaked out I've been. My computer is right in front of me and it's loading. So in 2 seconds, I'm gonna know whether or not the flight booked. So I get to Bali. Of course, I need to rest. This place is weird, by the way. I landed in Ubud. I know they always show like the fancy, nice beaches in Bali, but Ubud has a different vibe, right? It's very, very spiritually dense place. Lots of like statues and painting and carvings. I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I sleep. And the following day, I'm like, okay, let me like walk around a bit. The streets are quite empty. And then I'm exploring on my own. And at this time, I'm not thinking about a guy anymore. By the way, I had sticky notes next to my table of the exact qualities that I wanted in a guy, in a man, in a husband, and I wrote them down and I put them next to my nightstand, and I actually read them to myself almost every day. And I also became what I was seeking. So all the qualities I wanted, I spent like a few years enhancing those qualities in myself. So I did do some work leading up to that, and I'll make another video about that. For now, let's focus on how we met. And so I'm walking back from my exploring of my first day, y'all. The first time I stepped out of my house. This is what blows my mind. Like, and then I'm walking back home. And then I turn to the left. And there is this like strange, it's like super suspicious restaurant. Like, you wouldn't really go there as a first timer. But I just had this like feeling in my tummy like, hey, go see what that is. Always listen to your intuition. So I walk in, and as I'm walking in, this guy gets off his scooter and he's walking in front of me, like directly in front of me. And the waiter is like, you guys are together? Table together? I'm like, like together? I didn't don't even know this guy. I didn't say that, but in my mind I was like, no, not together. And he's also like, no, not together. So I sit down, and he happens to be sitting across from me. And again, this weird thing happens where my body just like, it sounds super strange, but I didn't have to use the bathroom. I didn't need to go get anything. And I wasn't checking him out. But somehow I get up and I walk. Like, I walk to the back of the restaurant, and then I come back and I go in front of him. He says I paraded myself in front of him, but that's not what happened. So I walk in front of him, and then he goes,
"It's peaceful here, right?"
And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it is really peaceful here. And we start talking, and then very brief conversation, and then I go and I sit down, and then we're looking at each other from across the restaurant, and then he says, "You mind if I join you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course you can join me." And then he comes and he sits next to me, and we start chatting about so many things like this. My earrings just fell out. These are super cute, by the way. What do you think? So we start chatting about simple things in life, but also deep things in life, like writing letters to our parents and Bali and how we got here. And then after we're done chatting, he's like, I would like to show you around Bali. And I don't know if he meant that day, but I was like, okay, yeah. Okay. I get so excited talking about him because I love him so much. But so then I go on the back of his scooter, right? Never met this guy a day in my life, and suddenly I'm in an open vehicle. We're riding through Bali together, and then we go to get something to drink. So he gets a coffee and I get like a smoothie. I think I got a smoothie or a tea, I don't remember. And he's sitting across the table from me, and we're talking again about the mind, the deep nerdy things that I like. And then suddenly our eyes lock, like our eyes meet each other. And then I swear to you, this chapter is called Stability. Stabilizing my practice, stabilizing my mind, stabilizing my emotions, stabilizing the love that I give and the love that I have. One of my favorite teachers, Thich Nhat Hanh, says the reality is that we are safe and we have the capacity to enjoy the wonders of life in the present moment. When we recognize that our suffering is based on images instead of current reality, then living happily in the present moment becomes possible right away. And so I often go back and I visit little Chelsea every single day to be present for her and to feel her feelings completely and to see what she needs. But at the same time, I honor this new version of myself who has blossomed from the old version of myself, seeing that if I can focus on my breath, if I can be consistent with my practices, if I can accept impermanence, everything will always be well. If the mirage were to be water, then why not those close to the mirage also see water? In the same way, if my pain and my suffering were truly real, then as I move closer to it, as I analyze it each day in meditation, it would appear to be objectively real. But the more and more I delve closer into understanding my pain and my childhood trauma, the more I see that, in fact, there is only love.
Yes.
We have a 7 a.m. yoga class. Good morning, Milo. Milo's not a morning person. Thank you. Okay. Ready? perfect timing. I think it's like 6:45, 6:50, and our class starts at 7. So let's go. Okay, so the time now is almost 10:30, and we just finished our 1 hour and 30-minute morning practice together, where we recite a lot of mantras and read the sutras and do meditation on emptiness and meditation on compassion. It's a specifically designed morning practice by our teacher from Tibet. It's very intense, very deep Buddhist concepts, so I didn't want to film it. And now I will make breakfast for my love and then go about my day. I'm going to be doing some interesting healing things for myself today. Okay. So I made it in the sauna. It's very much a new discovery for me that I cry in the sauna, or like it's like a place for release and also a place for, it's so hot. It's also a place for grounding, because there are 2 practices that I do in the sauna. One is single pointed meditation, where no matter how hot it is, I don't move my body. Because if you can still your body, you can still your mind. If you can still your mind, you can still your body. So I practice being very still. The second practice is a Qigong practice, which is shaking each part of your body to move the energy. I really recommend this practice for anyone who's like highly intuitive, highly sensitive. Shaking your arms, shaking your legs, shaking your entire body, and you're just gonna feel like the energy going back into the earth and feeling really more at peace in your body. So if you're on your healing journey, it's really important to find the healing practices and the self-care practices and self-love practices that really speak to your heart. I mean, I accidentally discovered that the sauna is a really healing place for me. This is not water, this is sweat. Really like releasing so much that I always cry every single time. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. So how I met my husband, listen, every time I take a leap of faith and I take a risk, God is like, okay, I see you, level up, level up. Like, this is really like a game of trust. And sometimes our 50% looks like 90% to other people. So we have to do the things that actually scare us in order to discover the majestic nature of life. So let me know in the comment section below, like, are you single, married, looking? Shall we chit chat more about relationships on this channel? Some tips and tricks and, you know, all that other stuff. Let me know, what's your relationship status in the comment section below. And do you want to be married one day? I think that saying I'm so excited to be a wife one day really starts to prepare you to receive that, because for so long I didn't have the courage to actually utter those words. So comment down in the comment section below. I feel so excited to be a wife one day, if that is something that you desire. And until next time, thank you for watching. Namaste.
you.